Good day, great people. Kalnina here. Today we are going to be replacing the OEM clutch and brake lever on my 2025 Kawasaki Z900 SE with our new ASV clutch and brake levers. This is what you pretty much get in the box. I got them black with green to match the green on the bike. They look very clean. So let's go ahead and get these installed. All right, so I'm starting on the right side of the bike. I'm going to remove the brake lever. One of the first things you have to do is remove this bolt here and get it loose, which I've done with a 10mm socket. So you get that loose, and then that's the first step pretty much done. Next, there is a bolt up here. They just need a flathead screwdriver. You just unscrew it. Until it back it all the way until it comes out. And after a certain while, you just pull and it'll pop right up. And then from here, a little bit of grease here, you just pull out the brake lever, and there it is. All right, so now with the actual OEM lever removed, I'm gonna take a little bit of lube here and just put it inside this pivot point for the actual ASV lever, just to make sure we're not binding and sticking when we start to ride it and get it on the road. And I'm gonna put just a little bit on these points right here and the flat parts. Again, just to prevent it from sticking, you know, so that it flows and moves freely. Now that I've got the lube in there, we have to make sure that this little pivot point here fits right here, flush. So when we point that in, we gotta make sure that it fits into the hole 100%. Pushing the lever just a tad bit to get our bolt back in, just like so. Then you screw it down. Once you get that snug, you really can't go past that point. You get your bolt, put it back on the bottom. Then tighten her up. Just like so. And there we have our first ASV lever installed. All right, let's clean her up and get to the clutch side. All right, so now we're gonna work on removing the clutch lever. So there's one bolt here and a nut underneath that we need to get to. The nut is a 10mm nut, but before we even get to that point, we have to undo the cabling for the actual clutch. So we have to back this off here. Now we have to send the other piece in, screw it in, to release some tension off of the actual lever itself. All right, so I'm now about to take off the clutch lever. First thing we have to do is back off this spinny thing here, and then the actual clutch cable. Send it in so that we have some slack in the line. Then you grab a 10mm socket, and kind of like the brake side, you start with the underneath. Get that loose. Then we can send the bolt through. And once you reach there, now we have to get the line. We pop it off. There is a line here with that little piece of plastic, so you just gotta get it through and straight. You gotta make sure that that stays on there. And there you have it, clutch lever removed. All right, so we have our new lever, clutch lever here, and our old clutch lever here. One major important thing, we have to take this bushing out and install it into the ASV. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Essentially, you could just pull this, push it out with your fingers, pull it apart like that, grab the bushing, slide the bushing into the ASV lever. Straight from the bottom up. Ew, dropped it. Push the bushing in just like that, and then now it's ready to be installed. Real quick, one of the things that I'm making sure I do is put a little bit of grease where the new clutch lever will be touching the body of the bike. So essentially, I took the bushing, slid it in, put some grease in there. Now we're gonna go ahead and take our clutch cable and slide it back in like so. And then we're gonna slide this in there, like that. We're gonna get our bolt, put a little bit of grease on the actual bolt itself, just because these are moving parts. So yeah, just throwing a little bit of grease in there. Because these are moving parts and they're gonna be sliding against each other. So we don't want it to bind. So throw it in there, grab the bolt, and screw it on the bottom, and then tighten it all up. Get a little snug. Now my clutch cable is a little loose now, but everything seems to be actuating. It's touching the actual pieces that it needs to touch. So yeah, it's all done. And then one of the last things we're gonna go ahead and do is readjust our lever by twisting out this cable. And then making sure that our lock nut was in place. I'll go out for a test ride a little later just to make sure that this is working. But yeah, here we go.